Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. We'll be looking at some Nigerian stories, sporting stories this evening, and we'll also look at some league fixtures tonight in Europe, where the leagues are back. The FIFA break is over, and we're also having a good time in the Nigerian Premier Football League. We looked at Nigerian Premier Football League in the morning show, and we saw those. We looked at the scores, about 4 draws in match day 2 of the Nigerian Premier Football League. So we'll also be looking at some transfer stories on the show this evening, but we'll be starting all the way from Delta State. That's about where the National Youth Games is ongoing, and the games enter day 7. At the end of hostilities today, we'll be looking at maybe Delta State, who is the host state, is still maintaining the top of the medal table. But this time around, we'll be looking at a different story, though, from that angle, from that area, where the president, Aliyu, of the Nigerian Aquatic Federation, NAF, has said, yes, they will pick swimmers, that is from the National Youth Games, to represent Nigeria the Africa Zone 2 Swimming Championship later on in the year, which is a welcome development and a good one. The federation, that is Nigeria Aquatic Federation, wants to get it right. Let's not forget that the last time out, during the last National Youth Games, we had an athlete from Bayelsa State winning about 13 medals in swimming. Also, during the 2020 National Sports Festival in Edo State, we also saw a swimmer winning a lot of medals. So this time around, I think the federation is switching their attention, is focusing their attention of getting swimmers from, from the National Youth Games. They want to catch them young. That is what the federation is actually adopting at this point in time. When you train them from the very tender age, they tend to do better. If you hear the likes of Michael Phelps of this world, who won how many Olympic gold medals in swimming, that's for United States of America, they started from a very young age, and it is what it is. For the Nigeria Aquatic Federation, they really also wanted to start getting swimmers from the rightful age, so that they can have this longevity in that sport and represent the country in in all of the international event. All right, we have Abba Michael joining us on the sports show this evening to look at this and other stories. Welcome to Sports Update on Trust TV, Michael. Yes, we begin from Delta State, as about where the 8th edition of the National Youth Games is ongoing, but a different angle this time around, where the president of the Aquatic Federation of Nigeria says, yes, they will get swimmers from these particular games that will present Nigeria at the Africa Zone 2 Swimming Championship, bid for later on in the year.
Yes, I mean, it's a very, very, very calculated effort. We must commend Mrs. Chinonye Aliyu, the Nigeria Aquatics Federation president, for a job well done so far. She has put her eyes on ground to ensure that the best athletes and best swimmers are selected. There is going to be an open camp. I love the fact that the camp is not restricted to already established players, but an open camp that will welcome newcomers. Who knows? We may just see the next Michael Phelps, like you said, amongst these youths at the ongoing games. New revelation, new talents. It's time to be revealed. When such athletes are allowed, to train with the established athletes, there will be a rapid development that will be seen. And we must commend the president for such an effort. I think it's billed for 6th to 10th October, the tournament. So I believe that the preparation is in tune, and we are definitely going to be ready when the established athletes know that they have young lads that want to upset them and change the baton and take off the gong of representing us. I believe that they will sit up and would even have a better performance. So we must give her flowers. She's also the protocol chairman of the ceremony of the presentation for the, of course, African Games. So why not? If not, she's also a stakeholder at the African level for the games. So we are looking forward to seeing her do the needful so that when the podium finishes come, since she's in charge of the ceremonies, she will be seeing her own athletes from Nigeria getting crowned at the end of the tournament on the 10th of October.
All right, that's a good one coming from Aliu Chema. If a good one, at least going to that, going to the national youth games to get swimmers for the country, and it's just in tune because they will be coming back fresh from a tournament, and they will be challenging the senior ones for places to represent Nigeria during the African Zone 2 swimming championship. All right, let's move away from that story and look at the big one this evening. Yes, it is the big story that popped out this afternoon, coming in from from the NFF, and that story we are going to look at it this time around from one of the NFF board members who claimed anonymity. But the story is the NFF is set to name another German as the Super Eagles coach, called Winfred Schafer as the new Super Eagles coach. Michael, another German name coming out to be the Super Eagles coach.
Yes, it's a good news for me. I see it as a good news. I remember back in 2002, I was so scared when I saw him on the sidelines. He went ahead to ensure that Cameroon defended their title. And when you talk about a coach with a fat resume, look no further. He is the one. Unfortunately, talks fell through with Labadia. Talks fell through with Harvey Renard. We couldn't even have Joan Anderson. These were the coaches that we were on their trail. We just couldn't have them. But I'm glad that we have the best among them. I mean, Schafer, take a look back at his career. As a player, of course, he played for, I think, Borussia Mönchengladbach. But as a manager, he has several titles to his name. Apart from winning AFCON with Cameroon in 2002, he also went ahead to win titles with Jamaica, I think in 2014, the Caribbean Cup. Yeah. In 2003, he was the runner-up for FIFA Confederations Cup. We saw him with several winners and runners-up medals. I mean, recently he even coached Thailand. He coached Thailand also to, I think, a title, Asian Cup Federation title. So everywhere he has been to, he's had titles. Even Al Ali of UAE, I think he has won the title with them. Yeah. His recent job was in Al-Khor 3 years ago. So he is, my only fear is at 74, I hope he still has that coaching vibe to give the Eagles that fire that we need to ensure that we get back to the top. But resume-wise, I think his credentials are phenomenal, and I'm glad that they are looking his direction.
Okay, they are looking into his direction. We are still waiting for the NFF to actually, because the same thing they did with Labadia before they confirmed it, but this time around we are keeping our fingers crossed that the NFF will definitely maybe do the needful and announce Schafer. Like you said, he has a very fat resume. His last job was in 2021. That was 3 years ago. He also won the UAE League football tournament right there. That is in the United Arab Emirates. But if we look at it, you made mention of his resume. Age-wise, 74. He's 74. The likes of Roy Hodgson were at this age that coach Crystal Palace. The age you mentioned, do you think is going to really maybe be an issue with the Super Eagles?
It may be an issue. He has been coaching for 42 years. I think his first coaching job was Mönchengladbach in 1982 to 1985. He may have probably lost his vibe due to age and fatigue. It's not easy to coach for entire 4 decades. Perhaps maybe we may be seeing a lot of diminishing returns, rear its ugly head in the twilight of his career. But nevertheless, a genius is still a genius. I still want to believe that experience will speak for itself. Let's see who he would have as his assistants. Perhaps the assistants will come from Nigeria or perhaps from himself, because I understood that was what happened, that the talks broke down within the Labadia camp, or even the Joan Anderson, the previous coaches that we trailed, but we just couldn't get their attention. We're hoping that this time around there won't be contract misgivings, and we hope that this deal pulls through.
Okay, we hope that this deal pulls through. We are still waiting, like I said, our fingers are crossed, waiting for the NFF to come out with a statement, and then we'll look at the whole, if definitely Winnie, as he's fondly called, will become the next Super Eagles coach. NFF will just have to do the needful, because we have the next qualifiers for AFCON coming up, and that of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. All right, let's move away from that story and go to the continent. This time around, CAF confirms Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania as hosts for the CHAN Tournament 2025. Yes, finally, Michael, we now have, as in countries, we now have a confirmation of the countries that will host the next 2025 CHAN African Cup of Nations. You know, the tournament is bid for home-based players, those who are applying their club football in their various countries, not in Europe, but on the continent of Africa. This tournament was put together at least to bring these players to exhibit their own skills on the continent of Africa.
Yes, I love the fact that Motsepe is doing it himself. They say if you want to get something done, do it yourself. He's been on inspection, especially in Kenya now, inspecting facilities. We are glad that he's not just setting up committee, go and check and ascertain if these venues are okay, but he has decided to do it by himself to ensure that nobody comes with information that is probably legit or not legit. He has already barred any opportunity for money to exchange hands in terms of giving accreditation good credit. We're happy that this Mamelodi Sundowns owner really understands the game of football and even the administration of football. We are glad that he is taking the bull by the horn to ensure that he pays attention to every facet and dimension of the African continental football. And this is a step in the right direction. And we are happy that Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, who are somehow football minnows, not that they're actual minnows, but we don't really hear so much when you talk about Kenya. But we are glad that they are being in the forefront now. The beam is upon them, and we are glad that at least Eastern Africa is getting a bright light and coming into the limelight of the CHAN football.
Okay, coming into the limelight of CHAN football, definitely for the host country of the CHAN 2025 has been an issue with CAF and not finding a host country. But this time around, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania coming in to rescue that tournament, and it's a good one coming in for Patrice Motsepe, naming these three countries as host for the next African Cup of Nations for home-based players on the continent of Africa in 2025. All right, moving ahead, we know that the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations was moved to this year, and eventually we had that tournament in Cote d'Ivoire, that is Ivory Coast, hosting it, and the next Africa Cup of Nations will be coming up that is in 2025 in Morocco, and we will be having, it's going to be a lot of tournaments in 2025. And then, but for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, at least CAF is taking it a step further by having a host, at least for the next edition after this one, and that is what it is. Now, for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, we still have Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania hosting it, and they will be hosting the CHAN. At least the CHAN is just to see how they can, at least maybe they have the power of hosting the tournament in 2027. You know, they have adopted that style of FIFA where, you know, the FIFA Confederations Cup is normally played in the country that will be hosting the next World Cup. So now the president himself, Patrice Motsepe, you made mention of that, expecting facilities in Kenya. As you can see on the screen, we brought up that Tanta City Stadium, which is going to be one of the host cities for host stadium for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. I think for Patrice Motsepe, like you made mention, he's taking the bull by the horn, at least leading the charge of expecting facilities in Kenya.
Yes, I mean, he is. This is a test run. It is after this CHAN tournament, we will know how ready the readiness of these nations that are aforementioned. We are looking forward to seeing them deliver the deliverables, deliver the goods, ensuring that administratively they get it right. I mean, players' comfortability, welfare, and all that. That stadium actually looks like the bird's nest of Beijing Olympics in 2008. I love that design. That's an architectural masterpiece, I must confess. That is like a Fly Emirates stadium. I think they're already showing that their readiness is unquestionable, and this is what we want to see everywhere, all around Africa. When we want to see every stadium being good enough, I mean, to host the entire continent. So we must give them a pat on the back so far for the job well done. But we look forward to seeing them consolidating on the hosting of the 2027 AFCON. That's a foresight. I love what Motsepe is doing, looking at the future.
Okay, looking at the future. All right, let's move away from that story and go straight to Europe quickly because we're almost out of time. We'll start with UEFA Champions League, and we're looking at one Nigerian player who did so well during the Europa League final. Ademola Lookman is ready. Has now switched his attention to Arsenal clash in the UEFA Champions League. We know he got one of the goals for Atlanta against Fiorentina during the weekend where they defeated Fiorentina 3-2. You are an Arsenal fan. I don't know where your loyalty will lie on that day. Champions League kicks off tomorrow, Tuesday, and we know it's going to be a packed action in the UEFA Champions League. For the first time, it's going to be played in league phases, 36 teams. And now Ademola Lookman is ready to battle Arsenal.
Yes, I mean, whether we like it or not, we have to support our own. I mean, Ademola Lookman is my fellow countryman, and I'm looking forward to him doing the needful. Perhaps in my heart, I will be supporting Arsenal, but Ademola Lookman, I want you to give your best and prove to Africans why you are called the best player in Africa. I mean, without a doubt, he's the favorite for the CAF Player of the Year winner. We are looking forward to him taking over from Victor Osimhen. Let it be back-to-back for Nigerians. Against Fiorentina, he's showing himself that he's truly the one carrying the team on his back, and he has proven that over and over again that the Euro final was not a fluke, that he truly shows that he is the best player in the African continent and a Ballon d'Or nominee. Yes.
Yes, and a Ballon d'Or nominee for Ademola Lookman. All right, let's quickly look at some results in the course of the weekend. We'll just run over the results. We might not be able to bring you the tables. Therefore, we'll start with the Italian Serie A. Genoa and Roma played a 1-1 draw. Atalanta, like you heard, Ademola Lookman getting one of those goals. They defeated that is Fiorentina 3-2 in that game. Torino and Lecce played a goalless draw. Cagliari were thrashed by Napoli 4-0 at home. That is away. And then we have Monza and Inter Milan, defending champions, playing 1-1 draw with Monza. Como 2, Bologna 2. That's a good one for Cesc Fabregas, who is the manager of Como. They played a 2-2 draw with Bologna, and Empoli and Juventus also played a goalless draw. AC Milan trashed Venezia at San Siro 4-0. And then for the German Bundesliga, we also have games in the German Bundesliga. Nigerian players doing so well for their various teams. We also have Victor Boniface getting those goals for Bayer Leverkusen. Augsburg 3 against St. Pauli. We have Menzo 5-1, Werder Bremen 2, Borussia Mönchengladbach 1, VfB Stuttgart 3. And then for Bayer Leverkusen, they beat Hoffenheim 4-1. Victor Boniface getting a brace in that game. And then Leipzig and Union Berlin played a goalless draw. Wolfsburg 1, Eintracht Frankfurt 2, Holstein Kiel 1, Bayern München 6 against Holstein Kiel, a team that is just newly promoted, and Borussia Dortmund beat FC Heidenheim 4-2. We will not be looking at the table. And there also in French Ligue 1, we also have games in the course of the weekend. Rennes 3. Okay, that's a mix-up. Nantes against non-state. Please, let's take away that result. It's just a mix-up. Okay, let's go straight to transfer. Let's go straight to... Okay, we have today, there are games for tonight. Rayo Vallecano, that is in La Liga, against Osasuna. We have Parma against Lazio. And then we have Udinese against Hellas Verona. We will be seeing our own Nigerian goalkeeper, Super Eagles goalkeeper, that is Maduka Okoye, in between the sticks for Udinese, who has been doing so well. And then Michael, okay, let's just take transfer before we go on the show. We have Bayern Munich midfielder Joshua Kimmich keen on contract renewal with Bayern Munich, and the last one, the duo of Michel Antonio and Danny Ings could leave the club, that is West Ham United, at expiration of their deal. All right, that is where we'll be leaving it on the program. We are sorry with that mix-up of a friendly gone result. We might probably, on the course of on our sporting program, will bring the full result of friendly gone at the course of the weekend. All right, Abba Market, thanks for joining up on the show. It's a good one having you this evening.
Thank you very much. Yours truly, MC Magnet. See you next time.
All right, that is it on the program. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.